The majority of the stories of the Bible took place in what we call today Judea and Samaria. If you think about sort of the map of the state of Israel, you have on the west the coastal area where the big cities are today, on the east the Jordan Valley, and all that mountainous and sort of really rugged terrain. That's Judea and Samaria. That's the heartland of the people of Israel. And up on the northern part of Samaria is where the Samaritans, Mount Gerizim sits. This is the holiest of sites for the Samaritan community, and it's one of the most well-recognized places of worship in Samaria.
At Mount Gerizim, I met with David, an Israeli tour guide with a deep understanding of ancient peoples, especially those found in the Holy Land.
Israel is an amazing society. Israel is the only Jewish state in the world, and the only country in the world that has a Jewish majority. But in Israel, we have many minorities. The Samaritans are a tiny nation. They consider themselves Israelites, descendants of the northern kingdom of Israel, whereas the Jews consider ourselves descendants of the southern kingdom of Judea. 1,000 years ago, there were 1.5 million Samaritans in this region. And 100 years ago, there were less than 150 Samaritans. Today, there are 850. The community is actually growing and thriving today. But it is a miracle that they have succeeded in surviving many wars and conquests that have taken place in this region and have maintained their culture and their faith. That is truly amazing.
This one tiny minority outlasts everyone else. They outlasted the Jewish population for much of history, the Arabs who came and went, the Christians who came and went. They're the only ones who really remained here. When do the Samaritans date back to?
That's where the dispute between the Jewish narrative and the Samaritan narrative begins.
The Samaritans are a Semitic people that practice a religion very similar to Judaism, and they've maintained this practice in the Holy Land for thousands of years. And their sacred language is an ancient form of Hebrew. According to Samaritan tradition, the Israelites originally built a tabernacle on Mount Gerizim in the north of Israel. Then, King Solomon built the temple in Jerusalem, and Israel split into two kingdoms. The southern kingdom in Judea, with Jerusalem as its capital, and the northern kingdom, with Shechem or Nablus as its capital. The southern kingdom eventually became what we know as the Jewish people today, while the northern kingdom became the lost tribes of Israel, cut off from the rest of their people. The Samaritans say that they are the descendants of this northern kingdom that never really stopped worshipping on Mount Gerizim. But if you ask Orthodox Judaism for their version of events, the story is slightly different.
So what are we looking at, Abud? What is the significance of this place?
This is really where the tabernacle of the Samaritans was built, what we believe 3,650 years ago. We believe that Joshua came here and built it. This is really the holiest point for the Samaritans.
I had the privilege of exploring Mount Gerizim with Abud Cohen. He comes from the Samaritan priestly tribe and has become one of the go-to guides between his people and the outside world. But he also represents the next generation of Samaritans on Mount Gerizim.
So when you're born as a Samaritan, the community raises you, since when you are 5 or 3 years old, to even start speaking ancient Hebrew. So when you're 5 years or 6 years old, you might finish reading the Torah. By age of 8, you already can do the bar mitzvah here.
Wait, so your bar mitzvah is not age dependent?
It's not age dependent. By the way, Samaritan does means, well, we say shomrim, right? Which means keepers. We do believe that we are keeping what our ancestors have kept and what their ancestors have kept.